Oh dear. Oh, I don't know. It was during the K-pop stream. I don't know. But anyway, so here's the story. I had a dream once before I time traveled back. Yeah, I think so. More creeping dread. Oh, bye, Wally. Thanks for stopping by. So back before I traveled back into time to be with you all, I lived in a town, a small town with lots of different kinds of people, and I lived in a house with a bunch of other girls my age, like a share house, if you will. So one day, we decided to have a sleepover of sorts in one of our rooms. And maybe we were watching a scary movie. I don't know, maybe we were telling scary stories before we went to bed, and maybe that's why, this happened. But we had a little sleepover, and we just shared. We were all in the same room. Some of us were in different parts of the floor, and I fell asleep and I woke up, and in the dream, okay, it was dinner time. And so they woke us up and said, "Hey, we come downstairs. We have dinner." And on the dinner table, they had these sort of like fortune cookie type things. And there was a huge bowl, and so they said you could take however many you want. This is actually very Inception. Oopsie daisy! I got a little excited there with this scary story. My mic got bonked. Minus HP. At this point, my mic has negative 1,000 HP. Oh dear, now it's not wanting to stay put. Oh dear. Okay, well, no more pop filter. Sad. There was many fortune cookies, so they said, "Hey, you can take however many fortune cookies as you want." So I took one normal fortune cookie, totally normal. But the second one, I opened it up, and it was a normal sized paper, like you would expect a fortune cookie paper to be. However, the text was really, really small. And because it was a paragraph long, and the paragraph detailed, content warning, it detailed the death of this young girl who died at an intersection by a car accident. So it would detail everything that happened to this young girl. So it would say, she felt the asphalt underneath her feet. She felt the sun beating down on her. She heard the honking horns. And so as I read this story, word, like line by line, sentence by sentence, I would experience, I know isn't that crazy? But yes, content warning, it is a little scary. So as I read each sentence, I would experience that feeling that she would experience. So when I read the sun was beating down on her, I started feeling really warm. Or when it said she could feel the asphalt underneath her feet, I started feeling it underneath my feet. So of course, I got really overwhelmed by all of by the sensory overload. So I go into fetal position. I'm like covering my ears. I'm on the chair, and I'm really overwhelmed. So I decided I need to go. I need to get out of here. So I start running towards the common room in this share house that I shared with these other young girls. I started running towards the common room, and at the threshold between the kitchen and the common room. Oh, maybe I should draw this out for you all. Because you really have to experience it. Okay, so this is my home. This is my home back in the town, in the small village town. I don't know what you would consider it, but in the town that I lived in before I traveled back. So this was like the first floor, more or less. Okay, and this was like the kitchen area. Daidokoro. Okay, so this is the kitchen. And this was the common room. This is where we would all kind of just hang out. I guess a living room, if you will. And this was the recreation room. We had a piano, so I'm gonna call it the piano room. And this is it's Haley. We're having a tangent. This is my scary dream. Here, let me write it down. Scary dream tangent. So anyone who's just hopping in, yes, and content warning. It is scary. Content warning. Ghosts for those who missed the ghosts. Yeah. So content warning for ghosts. So in my home back before I traveled back, this was the kitchen. This is the common room. This is the piano room. I'm gonna call it that because we had a piano there. And then there was the door to the front of the home that I shared with these girls. And there was a set of stairs, right? And you would go up the stairs, and then the room that we were all in, that we were sharing, was right above the kitchen. Just a fun fact. So as I crashed the threshold, it's not, but piano is not a horror thing, at least in the story. But we called this room like the piano room or the recreation room. There just happened to be a piano there. So as I crossed the threshold from the kitchen to the common room, I saw the ghost girl's legs, just from the knee down. And it wasn't, content warning for blood. There wasn't any blood, but, so I guess I'll take it off. It was for her knees down, but no blood. It would just fade into non-existence from the knee up. So as soon as I crossed into the common room, I saw a pair of her legs on her tippy toes facing away from me. I know, it's scary. And as soon as I saw it, as soon as my eyes locked onto it, I heard her scream really, really loud. And like it was shrilling. It was absolutely frightening. And I wonder if I have like campfire music. I don't. It's okay. And as soon as it started screaming, it ran away, and I woke up in the dream. So now I woke up in the dream. I'm still in the dream. I wake up in the room with the other girls that I live with. Yes, a blood-curdling scream, and it runs away as it starts screaming, and I wake up in the dream. And the other girls that I lived with at the time, said, "Are you okay? What happened?" I told them that I had a bad dream, and they recommended we all go down to the kitchen to get some water, some snacks, just to help calm me down. So, oh dear. I'm trying to fix my pop filter because I don't want there to be random noises. And so we go downstairs and we have water and snacks, and they finished up a little bit ahead of me, and they said, we're gonna go upstairs ahead of you, just take your time, you need to relax, so meet us upstairs when you're ready. So I finish up, I head into the common room, I head into the piano room, okay? So this is where, this is where the diagram comes in handy again. So I leave the kitchen, I go into the common room, and as I'm going into the piano room, I see a shadow on the right here. So for the shadow to have been there should have been somebody standing here. So I figured it was one of the other girls that I lived with at the time. I turned to the left, and I don't see anybody. There was nobody there. So I turned back around, and the shadow is gone. So for some reason, I didn't think anything about it. So I continue on. I turn at the door to go upstairs, and at that exact spot, I get pushed. I get pushed down to the stairs. And so I'm like laying on the stairs, and I'm not able, and I can't breathe, as if someone was holding me down. And so I'm struggling. a little frightened. I'm struggling. And I'm wondering, is anyone here? So I'm trying to turn my head. Rude ghost, indeed. I turn my head up to the top of the stairs to see if anyone, can help me. And I see one of the girls who lived there. She comes up to the top of the stairs and she's freaking out. She's, oh no. She's like, Rita, are you okay? And so I'm trying to reach out to her, and I'm trying to call out her name. And then I wake up in real life, gasping for air. And that's the end of my ghost dream. Isn't that crazy? And that's it. Nothing really scary happens afterwards, but ooh, isn't that frightening? Oh